Hello, hello. Welcome to Sparkle.Sanctuary. Thank you so much for joining today. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca. I was hoping to get completed with this canvas before today's WIP and chat, but I just didn't get quite finished. So I thought I would just have you all join me on this last little section. And then if I can get this completed here pretty soon, I will just tack on a post review onto my WIP and chat. So today is a WIP and chat. WIP stands for work in progress. So this is my current work in progress. Hopefully you have something you can work on while you listen to my life updates. So I'm still working on After the Rain, and I am literally on this last bottom section. So hopefully I'll be able to show you the whole image. I'll go ahead and get started, draw out some diamonds here. So I know this is a rather large section, but like I said, I was hoping to get through it. I was working on this yesterday, and it was actually going kind of fast because there's line blocking through here. So I'm hoping that I can get this finished while we're chatting. So just some updates about things that have been going on in my life. Let's see. On Sunday is my last WIP and chat. I recorded Saturday and posted Monday. So this last Sunday, this today actually is homecoming for my girls at their school. And so we went and did one last ditch effort to try and find dresses. So we went shopping Sunday, I mean. And my one of my girls did really well. She found this dress on clearance that originally she didn't want to try on, but we convinced her to try it on, and she ended up really liking it. And that's awesome because it was like less than $10. A little bit plain though, so I talked to her about possibly blinging it up. So that was something that we ended up working on as well. But that was pretty much all I did Sunday. Ended up having a bit of a headache, and my daughter wasn't feeling the best. So yeah, we spent a little bit of time relaxing, which was kind of nice. And then Monday, actually, there was no work for me. We had a day off, and I ended up, because of the day off, I canceled. I called my girls in for appointments that day. So early in the morning, all three of my girls had a physical, and then around lunchtime, my twins, they have braces, and so I took them to the orthodontist to get their next appointment completed. And they were super excited because the orthodontist said that they could see kind of the end in sight. And it's been 2 years that they've had these braces on, so I think they were hoping in the next 3 to 6 months they would be able to remove them. It sounds more like 6 months. They said, potentially 3 more visits. So I do wonder if Alyssa's braces will come off before Addison's, just because Addison, her teeth are being a little bit more stubborn. She has a couple of teeth that just don't want to quite move the way that they had anticipated. But she also has been more stubborn with wearing her rubber bands as they've prescribed them. And Alyssa has been very complacent with it. So I think Addison just forgets, not that she intentionally was missing them, but she was just forgetting. But and then that evening, my oldest daughter had her senior photos, and it was kind of cool. She had her pictures taken at a library, and then some of them, and then we had downtown where we live by. We did some more photos out there, and ended up got a sneak peek of like 5 of her photos already, and they already look so good. So I'm super excited to see what those look like when they come in. And Kirsten is definitely excited. She's been asking to share them with her friends and everything like that. So it's kind of cool. Then it's senior photos are expensive. I'm the one that's paid for them so far. I do wonder, because Mike's husband is asking for the link to it, and like I get that he wants them, but I feel like he should have to pay for the photos that he wants from the photographer and not just get them from me because I've spent all this money on them. So I think I'm going to reach out to the photographer and say, hey, he's like gonna try and get these photos. If you want to offer him, I can send you his email and offer him to, purchase some of the photos or whatever, because he's just going to go online and poach them essentially. And, I paid for that. That's very frustrating. So, I mean, I want him to be able to have her photos, but I'm very much a rule follower, and I like for things to be, as they should. And it just seems disingenuous that he would get to go on and just do whatever he wants with the photos that she posts. But I don't know. That's something for me to look into and think about. I don't know what to do with that. Um, yeah. So, and then Tuesday, my daughter's car wouldn't start. Like, she got up and that. So no, it was Monday. So Monday night when I went to go take her to the senior photos, I was like, hey, how about you drive, because you have practice, and then you can drive yourself after. And her car wouldn't start. And so because her car still wasn't fixed Tuesday, I ended up driving my girls to school. That was it. And that was fine. It was kind of a last minute thing. I hadn't even thought about taking them that day, and probably should have been thinking ahead. But there's just been a lot happening, and it's easy to forget things. So then I just kept, for work stuff, I just been keeping busy, just keeping up with the kiddos. And I did start my pull-out groups that I've been doing with the kindergartners, and those seem to go really, really well. The kiddos listened and they participated. What I did was, we have these devices, and they are just like curved shape. They look like a C, and they're supposed to be used for working on when you're like reading and learning languages or something like that. And I thought it's a really good way for people to hear positive affirmations from themselves. So we did a little bit of that. Like, I had them hold it up to their ear and say positive things to themselves, and and they were smiling the whole time they did it, which was really nice. And um, reinforce some of those positive things. Like, I'm like, you guys are so smart. Say I am smart. Kind of thing, trying to get them in that positive mind space. And then part of that is also, following directions, because that's one of the bigger issues that the teachers are having, is the kiddos just following the directions. And so it was just me reinforcing, like, we're asking you to do things, you need to do them. And I felt like it went pretty well. Most of the kids in that group, the groups that I did on Tuesday, were pretty phenomenal, actually. I was very happy and was able to pass out, we have a little bit of a reward system with a card, and I was able to pass those out. So it was kind of nice. And then that was Tuesday. And then let's see, anything else happened Tuesday? Oh, yeah. So last week I had worked on assisting with getting paperwork completed by the school, and for the school, I mean, by parents. And some of the struggles that we have is, these parents just don't want to return paperwork. And I had been thinking over the weekend on different ways that we could assist in getting those signatures. And so I had said, I talked to one of my coworkers that had been working on that about my ideas. And I was like, I think we should potentially set this up earlier for next year. And we have an equity team. And so I ended up going and speaking to the principal and saying, I really think that this is something the equity team could potentially do to make sure that everybody's able to get this assistance. And gave them some other ideas. I was saying, we should host because they have kindergarten, like meet the teacher. It's like an open house for kindergartners, and the kindergartners, like, they have other documents that they're needing that is just strictly for kindergarten. And so I thought, if we could put them all together, have somebody sitting down and helping them out and explaining them what they need to do and things like that, I thought that would be cool. And it's, whenever we offer food to families, they, people come, quite a bit of people come to those. And then the principal said that when we have our carnival night, a lot of parents come to those. And so he was saying maybe we could have a table where they would, because I had mentioned doing like drawings or something, and he said we could do a raffle at that, and then people could potentially, and I said, yeah, we could do like a family movie night basket, or a special drink or whatever. And he was like, okay. So we talked about some of that, and we have this coming week, I think we have our equity team meeting, or maybe it's next week, I can't remember. But we're going to hopefully talk about that and the ideas and how we can get that plan, because we don't know exactly when um, the enrollment stuff will open, and the free and reduced lunch stuff, that doesn't happen until over the summer. And so I was saying, if we had everything in plan and we had people, set up ahead of time, then we wouldn't be scrambling at the last minute trying to get those completed. And so he thought that was a good idea, because I was like, if we could just go ahead and have that plan in place, and then once we figure out a day, have that happen, and then remind people, hey, this is going to be a form that's coming out, can you make sure you fill that out? Or, how can we help people? And I said, we could even like get little pieces of tape or stickers and put them on the kids' clothes so that they can go home with that reminder, those kinds of things. So I don't know. We'll see when we talk at the equity team meeting if there's any other ideas that come up. But, we need to really hone in on getting these, getting all the applications that are needed. So he was happy with that. I did explain, I remember like this week, he said something to me about everything last week. It ended up that we had 35 left at the end. So we didn't complete everything, but we got pretty close. It was close enough. He was very happy. And so that was good. But I finally had a moment to pull him aside this week when I was talking to him and say, so I'm willing to help out again in the future, but next time I'll have to be inside instead. And he kind of looked at me funny, and I was like, I'm allergic to this, son. And he said, what? How did I not know this? And he was like, why did you offer to go outside? And I was like, sir, who else was going to do it? Everybody had, duties. Everybody was busy. I was the only one that was available, and I was willing to do it just that one time. Like, I just don't want it to be a regular thing where I'm doing these kinds of things outside. So he felt really bad. I think he felt really bad, and was very much like, that, yeah, that won't happen again. We'll make sure that you're inside. And so then that's funny, because then when they needed assistance later on in the week, he was like, we'll have you do this part inside. I was like, okay, that sounds great. So I did end up like slightly burnt. Like I had mentioned in my previous WIP and chat, I had ended up slightly burnt, but honestly, like it went away very quickly. And that's not, normally if it's an actual burn, it'll stay a little bit longer. Sometimes if it's just a reaction, it'll, go away fairly quickly. So I ended up being fine by Monday, I think. So yeah, that wasn't terrible. But then Tuesday night, I met with Rhonda from Dip in Time, and we recorded our monthly mental health musings, and I think it went really well. I just need to, I already got her portion put together, and I'll be sending that over here in a little bit as soon as I'm done with this. And then I need to edit my portion of it. So that it won't take too long. And then that will go up Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that Tuesday. We did do things a little bit different this time. I think last time we just recorded one video and then we both posted it on our channels. And I started thinking about it like, some of you are subscribed to me and not necessarily her. And I thought it would be more beneficial if we both like had a section of the recording on each of our channels. So we're going to try it this time. If nobody likes that format, please let us know if you don't like it, if you would prefer to just have it all on one channel. And, because I don't want to upset anybody by having it split. But yeah, so the first half of the monthly mental health musings will be on Rhonda's channel, and then part 2 will be on mine. So yeah, hopefully you see that and enjoy it. We do talk about mental health stuff on that in these collaborations, and I think it's super important, kind of things to talk about. So yeah, I'm hoping that people like it, and I would love to keep doing this, and yeah, sharing our experiences and our knowledge about mental health. Not necessarily, again, like we said in the video, this is not us diagnosing anybody, or I'm not. I do have my degree in psychology, but I don't have like a counseling degree or anything like that, and I definitely don't have. I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't do anything like that. So yeah, but I do have a lot of knowledge base. I do have my degree in psychology, like I said, and I've been working, basically every job that I've had for the last decade has had some impact in mental health some way or another. So I have a pretty good, strong knowledge base, which has been very helpful in the jobs that I've had. And, I do have a job working as a mental health professional. So um, it's not that I don't have knowledge, or that, at some point I won't go get that extra degree, but yeah, it may eventually happen. And then that might be a different story. But even then, I don't know that I'd want to do that kind of thing over the internet. But um, you never know what's going on. But anyway, so we'll go on to Wednesday. So Wednesday, I had there was, I don't know what's been going on this week, but I've actually had to break up several fights, um, or things like that. I just happened to be walking down the hallway, and these kids started fighting, and there were kids running around, and the pair that was with them was trying to figure out what just happened, because they had just come in from outside and they weren't acting like that outside. And um, so I kind of helped figure out everything going on there, and helped calm a couple of the kids down that were really upset. And um, I think sometimes things get blown out of proportion a little bit. So I did ask them to go look at the cameras and identify whether or not this little girl was actually hit, or if it was just like, I don't know, based on the situation. I think it was, but we have cameras and stuff like that to verify. So I asked them to do that. And also that day, like, there's a bunch of like crud going around, like all kinds of illnesses, all kinds of different reasons to go to the nurse, injuries, things like that. So parts of my day that day were like literally just taking kids back and forth to the nurse to have them checked out, or get them some kind of support or a Band-Aid or whatever, because the school that I work in is very big, and kindergarteners are on the farthest side from the nurse's office. So we like to have an escort for them, just to make sure that they don't get lost on the way down or back. Or, because, as a kindergartner, it's even more easy to be distracted when you're not supposed to be. So just to keep them kind of on course. And yeah. And so also helped kids get supplies out of the clothing bank and things like that. So I don't know, I like being able to, I don't know, it feels good to know that sometimes I'm helping kids in other capacities than just their mental health, I guess. I don't like that these kids have these kinds of experiences, but I'm glad to know that at least there is some help out there, and things that we can do to make it a little bit of a better situation, I guess. So yeah, so that was something else to this week. And then, oh yeah, so Wednesday, I've been sick, and I've been talking about it in the last several WIP chats, and I so apologize. Um, I am better. I'm not 100% yet, though. I did go see, let me start that back. So back in March, I had a really bad sinus infection as a result of my seasonal allergies. I do have spring allergies, and was really struggling with those. And ever since then, I've like had this issue, like my ear kind of feels full and like it needs to pop, and my hearing isn't quite the same. It's almost a little bit muffled, and I'll have times when, like, if I take a hot shower or I use steam, where I'll have like a brief moment where my ear will feel like it popped, and then I'll get a little bit of relief, and then it'll fill up again, and whatever. And so I was sick in May, and I kind of talked to the doctor about it then, and they were like, well, you're sick. It'll eventually go away. And I was like, but this was going on before. And they were like, well, just keep taking over the counter decongestants. And so I did. And then I really went on a trip with my family, and I came back, and I had thought being up in the mountains would help pop my ear. And again, it would pop a little bit, but then it would come right back, the way it was. So that was a bit frustrating. And then I just kind of dealt with it over the summer. And then in early August, I made an appointment with the doctor because I just had enough, like the first week of August. And of course, I ended up getting a cold like the day before. And so I was already congested, and she was like, yeah, there's definitely fluid in your ear. It could be because of what you were talking about, or it could be because, you have this cold now. But either way, we'll go ahead and put you on an antibiotic, and we'll get you on some prednisone, and, whatever. So I apologize. I hope I haven't talked about this much already. I hope it's not a repeat for anybody. I have a little bit of a forgetful mind. But anyway, so I did that round of medication. I did prednisone. I've started taking, I did a whole slew of different over-the-counter medications. I did like these shower steamers from Vicks. I did Vicks Vapor Rub. I did a whole bunch of stuff to try to get rid of it. And I would get, like, again, was more often. I had more often, it happened more often that my ears would pop and I would get this relief, but then again, it would fill. So I got sick again in the end of August, like in the beginning of September. And I've told you guys about some of those appointments. Like I went to urgent care and it wasn't strep throat. And I went to see my doctor, and she just kept telling me to take the medicine. And then she told me to take Flonase as well, and an allergy pill in case it was allergies. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And so I started taking, those. I had already been taking those medications, and I was like, I've already been doing that. And she said, okay, we'll just keep going with them. And anyway, through the course of me being sick, I saw several doctors, and they asked me to go ahead and schedule. The one I had seen in September, they asked me to go ahead and schedule with an ENT. Well, the ENT couldn't see me until this week. So I've done a whole huge amount of things to try to make myself better. I've done aromatherapies and steaming and staying in the shower, hot shower as long as I can. And I'm not a person that, I know lots of people that love long hot showers. That's not me. I'm not that person. I actually like almost kind of cold showers. My skin gets super dry, my hair gets super dry, and I just don't enjoy them. My skin's super sensitive to heat. And so I would put the shower as hot as I could stand it. And for the last, couple months, that's what I've done, is as hot as I can stand it, as long as I can stand it. And like I said, sometimes I'll get a little bit of relief. Oh, I missed an E there. And I've been sleeping sitting up all of this time, and just, all of these different precautions that I've been taking. And I also started watching YouTube videos and found different eustachian tube exercises that you can do to try to get drainage and all of those things. And then, oh, I missed a whole section over here. Darn it. Anyway, we'll get this taken care of. So all of these things, and I finally go to the ENT on Wednesday and tell him everything that's been going on. I had the C virus back all the way back in the end of 2022. And then I've just periodically coughed up phlegm ever since then, and all these things. And he was like, well, they did a hearing test, and the hearing test came back normal. So he said it wasn't anything, my hearing wasn't a concern, which I'm like, I've been doing all of these different things because I want to be able to hear. I haven't sang in church in a month and a half and whatever. So then he says that they also did a test to check to see if my eardrum had movement, and it did. So he didn't think that there was excess fluid behind my eardrum. And I'm like, I've even been using peppermint. I've been drinking teas. I've been doing all these different things. Yeah, I need there to be movement. I need to be able to hear. Of course, there isn't any issues that you're going to find right now because I've been doing all these things. But what about the fact that I still feel like my ear is full? And what about the fact that my ear is still, popping and doing all these things? And he was like, well, he said, have you ever ground your teeth, or do you clench your jaw? And what was the other thing he asked me? Oh, have you ever had acid reflux? And I said, both. I've had both basically my entire life, but I take a lot of precautions to try to stop them from happening. And he was like, well, I think that your ear pain is directly linked to one of those two things. So I recommend you change your diet, and I recommend you get a mouth guard, go to see your dentist, blah, blah, blah. I was like, number one, I don't eat a diet that's high in acid because I've had acid reflux for a majority of my life. So I didn't feel like that was the problem. Um, and, um, that I don't understand like when I can't lay down to sleep at night, because the second I lay down, I start coughing. I have like all of this drainage in my sinuses. My nose like fills up and I can't breathe out my nose at all. I would like the coughing. Yes, I could see how that could potentially be correlated to laying down and having acid reflux. But why would that close up my sinuses? Like, why would that make it so I can't breathe? That didn't make any sense to me. So I asked him a bunch of questions because I'm like, if he can explain this, fine, I'll accept it. But I just need to make sure that he's aware there's other stuff going on too. And I said that again, that didn't explain the popping in my ears, specifically my right ear, and why sometimes I'll feel a pop and I will get relief and everything will sound so much louder and more clear. Um, and then other times it's filled back up again. And he said, well, if you're going to be insistent, I guess we can do a CT scan so that I can determine whether or not this is chronic sinusitis. He said, because if you don't have the CT scan, you have to have these 4 different conditions, and you don't have all 4 of them. And because I have 3, not 4. And I was like, okay, but CT scans are a bit expensive. And he said, oh, well, you have Blue Cross and Blue Shield, you'll be covered. And I had to explain to him, like, sir, I get that, but I do have a deductible to meet. And, CT scans are incredibly expensive. And he was like, oh, okay, I guess I get that. And then proceeded to be like, well, there's really not anything I can do then. And he said, just keep taking allergy meds. And I'm like, I've been on Flonase for like 6 to 8 weeks now. And there's, I hear all these horror stories of side effects where people get, holes in their sinus cavity because of being on it long term. And I was like, what about the long term side effects? And he was like, I have children that I put on it for long term. You don't need to worry about it. There's no big deal. It's not really absorbed and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, okay. But again, what about the popping? I even said something to him about these weird white spots I have on my throat that are there. It's not strep. It's not thrush. I've had the strep test, and it's not thrush because it's very, very specifically localized to the very back edge of my tonsils. And I can't seem to figure out what's going on. And honestly, since I had that strep test done with the nurse practitioner, or not the nurse practitioner, with the urgent care, nobody's looked at my throat. And here I am at an ear, nose, and throat specialist, and he's not even looking at my throat. And you know what, guys? He never did. He never did look at my throat. He never looked in my mouth. He looked in my nose and said he didn't see signs of infection. And he looked in my ears and said he didn't see signs of infection. And so he just didn't think that was what was going on. And I'm like, but green phlegm, like, Mucus, what? I don't understand it. And I'm so sorry if this is TMI or gross, but I mean, these things are not normal, and that's not how I live my life, and it's never been. And I'm so tired of being brushed off. Guys, I'm so tired of being brushed off. And so I finally was like, okay, I have a question. And he said, okay. And I said, if I went through with getting the CT scan, because I'm not okay, this is not okay. What would be your course of action based on the results? And he was like, well, it would depend on what the results are. And I said, okay, try me. So he said that they would potentially, if the CT scan results came back that I had chronic sinusitis, then they would do a long-term or 21-day dose of antibiotic, and then they would also do and prednisone. So it'd be prednisone and this antibiotic. And he said, it's pretty extensive, so we don't like to do that very often. And you've already been on 2 rounds of prednisone. I was like, okay, so what's next? And he said that the other option would be that this was like allergy related, and they would just add this extra allergy med to the current regime that I'm doing, which would be an additional nasal spray along with a saline sinus rinse. I said, okay. And he said, also with that, he would want me to have the mouth guard for sleeping and to go on a soft diet. It's like, okay. So I'm already on a soft diet, so I've got that part done. Because my diet is always really wonky anyway, but whatever. And so I was like, and he was like, I mean, I guess we could throw the kitchen sink at it and just do everything all at once, and then just hopefully it goes away with all of it. But he said, I can't guarantee that, and I really don't like to prescribe medication unless it's a necessity. And I said, doctor, this has been going on since March. I believe this is a necessity. I believe that I've got something more going on, and it's just not working. At both of the times that I was given prednisone, I was already sick with something else. And I said, I really don't feel like the prednisone or the antibiotic had the opportunity to clear out things the way they were supposed to. I need help. So he said, okay. So he decided to throw everything in. He called it throwing in the kitchen sink. So he prescribed me a mouth guard for sleep, which I haven't picked up yet because I'm not going to go to the dentist. I'm just going to do some research and find one online that I can do. That's expensive. I live in the United States. That's expensive. It's not even under the same insurance, but get a mouth guard. He prescribed me a 12-day dose of prednisone. That's actually higher dosages than the ones that I've been on already. A 21-day dose of antibiotic. And then he also suggested that I take this probiotic and then do a saline rinse. And then I was also supposed to take this extra allergy sinus spray. So I'm doing so much right now. One of the other things that I had tried before this was they're called eustachian tube exercises. And like it's a lot of mouth movement, rubbing on your jaw, things like that. And I was doing those for a while too. And when he saw me and he was asking about my jaw, like he actually put his fingers, like he grabbed helped part of my face by my ears and asked me to open my jaw, and he pushed in really, really hard. And you guys, I do clench my teeth. I have ground my teeth since I was little, and when I tell you what he did hurt, like my eyes teared up. It like stung so bad that my eyes immediately teared up, even though I wasn't like trying to I wasn't crying. They just teared up because of the pain. And he was like, that's painful. And I was like, yeah, it is. And so he just kept pushing around and moving things. And he was like, yeah, I think this is definitely coming. The jaw is so close to your ears. I think that the jaw is what's causing your ear pain. And it's very funny because I've been really good about grinding my teeth for the most part. And I haven't had jaw pain in a while. But ever since he did that, I've had a couple of headaches and I've had jaw pain. And I am back to clenching my jaw, and I'm trying not to, and I keep trying to do like exercises to relax my jaw, but like he re-triggered whatever it was that I had been doing to to get my jaw to calm down. So anyway, I'm working on that, and on all of these medications. And so I don't know, it's a pretty high dose of prednisone. It's like 40 milligrams for 3 days, and then 30 milligrams for 3 days, and then 20, and then 10, same way. And I've not taken this much before, so I'm a little bit worried just because steroids are kind of, it can be a lot. And yeah, my body reacts crazy to things, and I don't want another side effect because I'm on all of these things, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, so he prescribed all of those. I didn't actually get those picked up until Thursday night, but let's see. So yeah, Thursday I had to take the girls to school again, and then my day was kind of hectic. We had a bunch of staff missing, and so I had a lot of extra things that I took up, and I wasn't able to help the counselors really hardly at all. I did on Tuesday. I was able to help for a little bit for a few of the sessions and just kind of get them in the know, but it kind of made me sad that I wasn't able to help out more, because that really was my baby. Like, I put all of that together. I did the video and everything, and yeah, I don't know. It's a lesson that I felt like really needed to be done. So I'm just glad somebody's doing it. And the kids, when they saw me in the hallways, they were like, "Hey, I recognize you from the video," and things like that. So that was kind of cool. But then had to deal with another fight on Thursday. But other than that, like I said, I stopped and picked up my medications, and then I tried to spend Thursday evening relaxing. I did edit a little bit of a video, and then just spent the evening kind of doing what I wanted, and I diamond painted for a little while, which honestly hasn't been happening a whole lot lately. So that was really nice. I definitely enjoyed taking that time to relax Thursday. And then Friday, we were even more short staffed. So I was running around a lot. I was either back to back kids, or I had multiple kids in my office from the time school started until probably about 12:30. And then after 12:30, I kind of took time to, get in some of the data that I have to take and do, and then ate a little bit of my lunch, and then had another kid come in my office and just kept going for the day, like doing my groups and whatnot. So, and taking more kids to see the doctor, because again, more people are sick. I've just been using a lot of hand sanitizer this last week, and I've been hoping that I don't end up with something, because I want to let these meds actually have a chance to do their job before anything else happens. Because if I can get rid of this stuff going on with my ear, oh man, I would be so much happier. Because I really, I'm supposed to sing tomorrow, but I just struggle with the in-ear soundtrack that we use because of it, and I would just like to feel normal, And I hate that I feel like I'm complaining a lot. And I'm trying to keep an upbeat attitude. When I'm at work, I smile, and, people don't really know what's going on. So I'm glad that people don't really have a clue that something's up. But I am getting tired, you guys. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. My ear thing has been since March. That's at least since March. It may have even been before that. So, yeah, I'm just ready for that part to be over. But then, let's see. Oh, so then last night, my boyfriend and I caught up on the most recent episode of Only Murders in the Building. So I don't know. I just enjoy watching that show and kind of catching up with these characters on how things are going and trying to solve this murder mystery. I already kind of had a clue who I thought it might be, and that's the direction they're going right now. So it's probably not that person. But I don't know. That seems to be the way. I'm already finished. Okay, so I'll try and wrap this up really fast. Last night I actually slept laying down for the first time in forever. It felt so good. So maybe the meds are already working. Wouldn't that be an amazing godsend? But yeah, so that's already happening. Let's see. There we go. Turn that off. All right, that's so awesome. But anyway, I'm not really reading any books. I'm not really watching any television. I do need to get my girls caught up on Only Murders in the Building, but otherwise I've just been busy either, making or posting videos or just trying to take the time to actually diamond paint because that is definitely my first, like something I love doing and I feel like I haven't done a whole lot lately. But anyway, so what I'll do is I'll pause here and I will pan out and will show you this completed image. I'm so excited to share. Okay, so here is the completed image. I think it turned out lovely. These little blobs here in person, like up close, when you back up, you can see the leaves. That looks really neat to me. There's a ton of they had two different yellow ABs in here, and there's a ton of them. There's little bits all through the yellow areas of all of these trees. It's a light and dark yellow AB. I did want to enhance these lanterns a little bit. So I have these crystals that were just in my storage. It's just a yellow crystal. So I added them into the lamps to give a little bit more depth. Yeah, there you can see. And it just gives it a little bit more depth and shine. So I added them to each of the lamps that are there based on the symbol that they were. And I think that turned out really lovely in person. It gives it just a little bit more depth because fire has that little darkness to it. So I thought that would be cool. Yeah, I really like the way this turned out. There were some areas in the purple that were slightly blurry. I will go ahead and insert that picture here. So as you can see, like the symbols and letters were blurry to work on. Now, because I use a light pad and an overhead light, not all the time, but most of the time, a lot of times I use overhead light, I was able to see the symbols enough that it didn't matter. I could have probably reached out to Diamond Art Club and let them know. I don't know what they would have done. I've never asked them for support. I feel like if I can work through the canvas, then there's no need to waste anybody's time or money. But considering I pay, like how much we pay for these kits, it would have been nice if that hadn't been blurry. But again, I was able to work on it and it didn't cause any issues. The kit is old enough. I've had it long enough that I don't even know what they would have done to fix it. If they would have just asked me to send it back to them. I don't even know if this, I don't know. They may have replaced it. I'm not sure what they would have done. So I just didn't bother. Figured I could work through it and it was fine. So, and it was. I just love the way this turned out. I have to tell you that these purples breaking up the canvas really helped. Down here, I got a little bored, but all of these purples up at the top definitely broke it up. So if I had to do this over again, normally I start at the top and work my way down, but I think I probably would have flipped it and changed it to work on this section, this bottom section first, just because it kind of became mundane with the oranges, yellows, and reds. They're not my favorite color to work on, and I love purples. And so this was really, really fun to work on. But honestly, like I feel like I got through it for the amount of time that I actually was able to spend time in painting. I feel like I got through this pretty quickly. There's lots of line blocking in different places, even though there's obviously quite a bit of confetti in this kit. So anyway, that's it. I just wanted to share my finish with you. I will link this image below in the description box. And I'm not going to link the pen that I was using. I don't know if you noticed during this WIP chat, but this is the pen that I was using in the last couple WIP chats that I've had. I have these pen grips just on a regular pen that you can get. And then I used my stainless steel single placer and my Diamond Art Club multi-placer. This is incredibly light. It fits my hand and I love the way this works. So I've just been using this. I feel like this is the most comfortable way for me to diamond paint, even though I love all the pens. I just can't use them for very long. And I started realizing I wasn't spending as much time diamond painting because I wasn't using this. So I went back to it. And I definitely enjoyed it. And I feel like it matched the diamond painting enough. I did go ahead and buy extra grips. They're not exactly the same, but I bought some extra just in case I want to switch out the colors or whatever. So we'll see how those work. But I just wanted to share, like, you don't have to have a special diamond painting pen. While I loved the one I had from Enabler's Outpost that I worked on for quite a bit of the canvas, like I said, eventually I started realizing that the other one was just a little bit heavy for me and I wasn't able to diamond paint as long because of my carpal tunnel. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I would love to have you here. I do some content like this WIP and chat. I do unboxings. I have been working on a video regarding how to know if the art that you're picking is AI art or not. And then I'm planning also as part of that to unbox a couple images that I had custom made that were AI that were created by my boyfriend and just things like that. So hopefully you enjoy the content that I'm giving here. If you have any suggestions or recommendations or questions, like I said, please leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Hope you all have a blessed day. Don't forget that wherever you go to retreat to take care of your mental health is a Sparkle Sanctuary. So take time for you, and I will see you next time. Bye.